That gives you leverage. That gives you an incredible amount of leverage over the person that just publishes one book, and that's all they're depending on, right? That's all they're depending on. So you're saying, Ty, well, right, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to scale your business and really take your digital Kindle publishing business, right, where you're publishing fiction or nonfiction books, and create like a digital publishing business that allows you to create just other things like courses and memberships and live events and just all of these other things. I think that there's so many people that are missing the boat right now by only focusing on a Kindle book, that they don't even realize that there's all of these other opportunities that are out there. So why am I qualified to do this? Well, my name is Ty Cohen, and I've made millions and millions and millions of dollars selling digital products online over the last couple of years, actually over the last decade plus. I've been doing this stuff. I've been teaching other people. I've spoken about it from stages. I've spoken about it at virtual events, live events. I've taught it to just thousands and thousands of people, and now I'm going to share it with you. All right, so if you are someone who has a Kindle book, right, let me know in the comments. I want you to just comment what type of book, what the genre is, if it's fiction or nonfiction, if it's a mystery thriller, if it's a personal development or self-help, right, whatever it might be, romance. Just let me know in the comments, because I want to see what types of books and what genres people are actually publishing in, because this applies to everyone. So if you're someone who has a Kindle book here, let's say, let me get one of my trusty markers here. Let's say you were over on Amazon and you've got your Kindle book here, and you're hoping and praying that people come over and buy it, right? You've published it, and every once in a while you do get a couple of sales. Hopefully you guys can see that. Every once in a while you do get a couple of sales, right? But it's not enough for you to get super excited about, right? As a matter of fact, it might not even be enough for you to want to continue doing what you're doing. Maybe you don't have the confidence that this is for you. Maybe you start to rethink things, right? But it's not just because your book isn't good. It's not because you don't have something that's worthy of people buying. Oftentimes, there's a few reasons why people have books that they publish and then nothing happens. So the first thing is you're depending on one book, right? And I see a lot of authors make this mistake. I'm actually going to use this a little bit more. So they make the mistake of depending on one book, and they think that this one book is going to serve every single purpose that they need, right? And now we're at a period where when you have platforms like Amazon or any of these other large platforms that are out there, you want to be able to take advantage of all of the different individuals that are visiting that platform, right? And sometimes you might have this book, and it could be the best book. It could be a book that you spent years or even a decade or more. I've got some students that have spent 10 years, 20 years writing their book. And you could have gotten the most professional cover created, right, by one of the best graphic designers. You've got your editor, you've got your proofreader that have worked on this book, and nothing happens. Well, oftentimes that's because people are coming into these platforms like Amazon, and there's so many other books that are out there that yours kind of gets lost, right? It gets lost in all of the other stuff that's out there, right? So one of the things that we teach our students is to not only depend on one book, but to depend on multiple books. So we show you how to go in and create a series of books, right? So you've got multiple books that are out there, and all of these books are entry points. And I know what you're thinking, right? I know what you're thinking. I'm going to get to it. So you might have book number 1, book number 2, book number 3, book number 4 in your series. And all of these books, like I said, they're entry points. You might have people, think about your own reading habits, right? For those of you, let's say J.K. Rowling, right? So Harry Potter, for those of you that are Harry Potter fans, you might not have come across the very first book. I want you to think about this, right? Or use your favorite author who might publish in the series format, or who just publish multiple books. You may not have found book number 1. You might have come in and became aware of him because you found book number 2, or book number 3, or book number 4, or book number 40, right? And then because you like that author and you like the characters, you like the writing style, now what do? What do? You go back and you start to seek out all of the other books that they've published, right? That gives you leverage. That gives you an incredible amount of leverage over the person that just publishes one book, and that's all they're depending on, right? That's all they're depending on. So you're saying, Ty, well, I only publish one book because it takes me so much time to go in and get my thoughts together, to know where I should start, where I should end, how I should tie the middle together, right? How do my characters interact? And if that's a problem for you, right, there's an easy solution to that, super easy solution to that. And I'll actually cover that in another book if you guys want to hear about how do you go in and pump out more books quicker, more high quality books, not junk, not garbage, well written, high quality books that your readers are going to enjoy, because we don't publish junk. That's the first rule, right? It's your publishing HQ. And if you guys can, if you agree, I only want to do it with people that agree with that, right? Just put HQ in the comments. So high quality HQ. So now, so you've got your series here, right? You're publishing multiple books. You've got people that are coming in and they're enjoying all of these books, and they might come in at different entry points, right? So that's the first way that you go in and you're able to maximize a platform like Amazon. It's first understanding that it's not going to just get you there with one book. Now you could, I'm not saying that it's impossible, you could, but it's like hitting the lottery, right? It's not impossible to hit the lottery, the Powerball. There's people that do it all the time. We see that, right? But there's not a ton of people that do it. It's like getting lucky, right? So when we show you how to go in and create this serial format of content, as a matter of fact, I've got an entire challenge that's coming up where I'm going to show you how to do this. You can go and you can register by going to kindlecashflow.com, KSS. It's the Kindle Series Secrets Challenge. So we're going to talk about this, and we're going to go into detail for actually 5 days. We're going to do this for about 90 minutes a day, 5 days. And again, it's kindlecashflow.com/KSS, right? So now the next thing that I see people make a lot of mistakes is with, they don't go in and they don't market their books. Now, there's a million different ways that you can market your books. As a matter of fact, we just did a workshop. Angie Doyle, who's on our team, she just did an incredible marketing magic workshop this past Saturday, depending on when you're watching this video, right? So during this challenge, I'll touch on marketing a bit, but we're really going to cover how do you go in and you get your series created, right? So now the next question, that question that you were probably asking yourself, and I said I'm going to give you the answer to that, is, Ty, I publish non-fiction, right? How do I do that for non-fiction? Well, I'm going to show you how you can do this for both fiction, which is pretty common, right? We always see serials for fiction. But I'll also show you how to do this for non-fiction, which is even easier. It's easy to do with fiction, but it's even easier to do it with non-fiction. So I'll show you how to do both of these when you guys join us on the challenge. So the biggest thing is, I want you to start wrapping your head around the concept, the idea of publishing multiple books, right? And it starts with first making a decision. That's number one, making a decision. And then number two, it starts with creating a timeline. Like, what's your calendar going to look like, right? There's costs that go into it 100%, right? There's time, which is a cost that goes into it, right? So you have your financial cost, then you have your time cost that goes into it, right? And then there's the cost of creativity. So being creative in the sense of, what am I going to do? And when we do this with our serials, what we do is we tie each book into the other. So we tie each book into the other. So what we do is, it's called a cliffhanger series, right? So book one has this cliffhanger that leads into book two. Book two ends with a cliffhanger that leads into book three. Book three ends with a cliffhanger that leads into book four. And now you're probably thinking, well, Ty, if they all end with a cliffhanger, how do they make sense? How do people not come into book three and not get lost? Or how do people come into book three and not get lost? Well, it's the same way that if you go and you watch a television series, right? So I want you guys to go in and list your favorite television series. I don't want you to think about this. You've got all of these television companies, you've got production houses, you've got movie companies that have spent literally hundreds of millions, billions of dollars figuring this out over the years to get us to a point where we're hooked on new television shows. And it doesn't matter at what point we come in. It doesn't matter if we come in, we might be at work or we might be on social media and we hear someone talking about a series and we're late to the party, right? So we come into this thing 3 weeks in, a month in, sometimes 2 months in, and we go in and we watch it, and guess what happens? Then we go back, because we're so caught up in this thing. We come in at maybe week 3 or week 4, and we're so caught up in it. We drank the juice, right? And now what do? We binge watch it. So you go in, you binge watch your favorite shows, and the same thing happens here. That's why this model is so much more powerful than this model. Because with this model, you get someone that comes in and they'll buy a book, whether it's book number 1, 2, 3, or 4. And if you do your job of producing high quality content, which I'll show you how to do on this challenge as well, then that person has a higher likelihood of wanting to go back and binge watch the rest of your material. All right, so there you go. Hopefully this video has given you some content that will help you to start to think about being an author in a different way, right? Being a publisher in a different way. And starting to look at the content that you're publishing, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, in a way where you're now looking to publish serials. All right, so you're looking to publish this series of books that will get you more attention than just one book, right? And like I said, during this challenge, I'm going to show you how to do this in a quicker way, in a more efficient way, so that you're still publishing high quality content that your readers will enjoy, but at a faster pace. All right. So again, kindlecashflow.com/KSS. Let me know if you like this video. If you do enjoy this video, go in and comment below digital publishing. And when you comment digital publishing below, what I'm going to do is next, I'm going to create another video that shows you how to take what you're publishing on Amazon and build that into a business, a digital publishing business, where you can now start publishing courses and, you know, membership programs and live events, virtual events, right? So you start to build out this more holistic business that attracts a greater pool of individuals, all right? So if you want to see that video and if you want me to go in and create that, it's something that I've done. Seems like forever now, for well over 10 years. It's something that I've taught to many other people. And the concepts are as simple as this, right? Taking your idea for a fiction or a nonfiction book and then kind of spreading that out, and in some cases even repurposing it into courses and mini courses and coaching programs and memberships and live virtual events, workshops like the one that I talked about earlier, our Marketing Magic workshop that was produced by Angie Doyle, or our Kindle series Secrets 7 5-day challenge that's coming up. All right, so just comment digital publishing and I'll create a video showing you guys how to do that. All right, we'll see you. kindlecashflow.com/KSS to join us on the Kindle series Secrets challenge, so you can learn how to take your one book and turn it into multiples that are all great reads.